Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss a recent interview with David Gordon Green where he addressed aspects of the story for Halloween Ends. Now when it came time to discuss Laurie and Michael, he pivoted to the new character being introduced in the film, which at this point we all know is Corey Cunningham, and the part that his character plays in relation to both of them. And when he shared what his effect on Michael is, I had to stop and back it up again to make sure I heard him correctly. Now, I'm going to share it with all of you. Let's go! So David Gordon Green was recently interviewed by the Pay or Go Home podcast, and when asked to share about how the effect of a community's treatment of those who've suffered severe trauma, like Laurie, for example, can have an effect on the behavior of those individuals for the worst. And David had an especially interesting thing to say when it comes to Corey's effect on Michael. Let's hear what he said.
Michael Myers is a very difficult villain to write for because he doesn't talk and he doesn't have any backstory and he doesn't have any motivation. And that's the beauty of him. That's what makes him scary, is this ambiguity. And so I didn't want to explore what created him, which you could do. I wanted to explore what leads people to violence and what leads people to that interior trauma that they don't seem to recover from. And so it was inviting a new character into the town to give two perspectives, one to Laurie and her intuition, and the other to Michael and his inspiration.
Okay, so David is saying that this new character, again, which we all know is Corey, he's going to be this new character introduced, going to be looks like to have a prominent role in Halloween Ends. So he was written in to have he's going to have an effect on Laurie and Michael both. So David Green is basically saying he wrote Corey to give two perspectives. One is to Laurie and her intuition, and the second is to Michael and his inspiration. So guys, this is the part where I'm getting really nervous. I'm not gonna tell you anything other than the truth. I'm still excited. I'm still ready to go. I'm really excited, actually. I want to see this for myself, how it's gonna work. But I've never heard this, Michael and his inspiration, like what's inspiring him to kill. Now, he did mention something interesting too. He said that, he could have gone the route of trying to explain what makes Michael. But he says he didn't want to do that, and I'm thankful for that. So in number one, I just want to say before we get to the other stuff, that is a relief to me. So I don't feel like there's any concern at this point to think that Halloween Ends is going to try to explain Michael's origin. If he is supernatural, if he has a supernatural element. I know a lot of people don't think he does. A lot of people do. It's pretty split down the middle from folks I talk to regularly. Which is great. I think it's awesome that there is even a discussion. However, my point is this. If either way, whether explaining his non-supernatural origin and what happened, or his supernatural, the piece that if you do believe he's supernatural, has some supernatural component with his humanness, the fact is David Gordon Green said he's didn't want to do that. So that's cool. So I'm not going to worry about the radio tower. I'm not worried about Silver Shamrock. I'm not worried about the Curse of Thorn coming back or anything like that. It looks like it will remain ambiguous as to Michael's history and what caused him to ultimately be who he is. However, this other statement he made, though, is at the same token has me a little perplexed. Because he's got Corey in this movie to speak to Laurie's intuition and to also speak to Michael and his inspiration. So I'm a little confused because if we're showing what inspires Michael, isn't that kind of a backdoor way of showing what makes him tick, kind of the whole what makes him who he is that he's avoiding. I wonder if inadvertently, by showing whatever he's going to use for this inspiration with Corey, if that won't shed some light on us to make us talk about, well, maybe this is what makes Michael Michael, what have you. We'll have to see, obviously, how this plays out to see exactly what he means by inspiration. And the other question I have is, if Corey's there, and is Corey serving as inspiration? Is that what's going to get Michael killing again? Since we're hearing how the effect of the community on people who have trauma and all this is like a big component of the film. And Jamie Lee Curtis, we saw in an interview earlier, which I did a video on, also talked about how, it's going to make people angry because the movie's basically going to be telling us that we're all monsters. And so how you can turn on each other. So could it be that what happens to Corey, the events in this movie that happens to Corey, are what inspire, using David's word, inspiration? Does that mean that, Michael Myers is literally going to be inspired by what he sees happen to Corey, and that drives him to kill it, to come back and to kill again? I don't know. It's just interesting. It's an interesting adjective and a way to describe Corey's effect on Michael, as calling it his inspiration. So it sounds like Corey, this character Corey, guys, is going to really be a huge factor in this movie. It really sounds like he potentially could be the catalyst for Laurie and for Michael to make both of them kind of, bring clarity to both of their stories, I guess. And I don't know about inspiration. I know what it means. Like when I hear that phrase, when you're inspired by someone, I know what that means in the plainest of terms. Is that what David Gordon Green means in this scenario? We're going to have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree at this point that Corey is key and is really going to be one of the main focal points of the entire film. So I just hope that when it's all said and done, the ambiguity remains intact for Michael. I don't want him to be inspired by anyone. If that means we are getting insight and a look behind the curtain into what makes Michael Myers, the Shape, the boogeyman. So if he's inspired by another person, I don't know. That speaks to me more to his humanity than it does to the evil that resides within him. And Loomis described Myers all the way back in '78. He's pure evil. There's nothing even remotely human left in this guy. He is, he is just gone. He's got the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, as you know. So it just brings me all to say this, guys. I'm very excited for Friday morning, the 14th. I'll be watching it first thing that morning. I'll be doing a live reaction at 11 a.m. Central Time. So be sure you check that out. And I hope you'll be there. But yeah, this is going to be a ride. I can tell you that. Whatever's going to happen in this movie, it's going to be a ride. It's going to be a roller coaster. And I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We've been waiting for a year. Let's just get this thing going and let it rip and see what happens. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I want to know what you think about David Gordon Green's comments regarding this new character that he wrote in, which we know is Corey, and how his effect is on Laurie and Michael. Please let me know in the comment section below what your theories and thoughts are about this. How do you see this playing out? What do you think David meant when he made these comments specifically? So leave your comments below right now and let's discuss it. Well, guys, that's going to be all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Halloween Ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.